Hello everyone, I'm tylovsims and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I have played The Sims for many years now, but I've never really branched out into the YouTube world. I figured now that I'm kind of done university and just started my job hunt that this was a perfect time to start a passion project. So thank you very much for tuning in if you have, and I hope that you stick around. I really love the let's build style from other creators, so I figured what better way to kick off with the channel with a little series of different builds. And I love architecture and interior design and that type of like the type of realm, as I'm sure many of you do. And with that, like especially around where I am, we have a lot of cool architecture where I am. I'm in the Canadian East Coast, kind of in New Brunswick. It's like the southeastern part of Canada and like the Appalachian Mountains. We're really close to the US, and there's a lot of influences from British architecture, French architecture. We've got some Scandinavian influence here, and as well as the kind of great modernist architects like Frank Lloyd Wright in the US. We have some of his influences up here as well. So it's kind of this big eclectic mix of industrial styles and like modernism, but still with some Queen Anne mixed in. So I thought, what a cool way to draw from inspiration from around where I am, and then maybe branch out to other places in the world as well. Feel free to comment below kind of where you're located and what the architecture looks like around where you are. I'd be happy to look that up and branch into different styles of builds from around the world. I think it's also interesting where how every place is like a little bit different and has so much character. So yeah, for this series, I kind of have a sim in mind that is an architect. And for when I think of an architect and what an architect would live in, I kind of want something that is a big mash of styles. I don't know how, as an architect, with everything that you have going around, you couldn't, like, you could just settle for one thing. Like, I would want multiple influences. So, we're here in Hemford-on-Bagley at the big 64 by 64 lot. And one thing that I love about this kind of world is that you have historical buildings like this. You have the natural stone here, and all these like walls and farmyard looking areas. So how can we draw from this but make it kooky and have a modern edge to it that maybe has a bit more of a Scandinavian influence, kind of like maybe give it a Canadian twist on the area that we are. So that's the plan for this house and the Sims that will be occupying it, which I do intend on creating them in the very near future. Maybe I'll do an introduction at the start of the next video. That way you kind of get to see who I have in mind for living here, get to meet them, and then have a bit better understanding of kind of the brief that I have in my head. But essentially, it's going to be stone base and then big and wooden. That's kind of that's my thought process. That's the inspiration behind this building. Is I'm like, how do I just throw some natural stone on a big wooden box and we'll figure out how to make it a house together. So that's the plan. If it sounds like something you'd be interested in, I can't wait to have you along this little ride as we figure out what looks good and maybe come across some things that don't look good, because no build is perfect and flawless from the get-go. It just isn't. At least none of mine are. Maybe some other folks have that luck, but or that skill. Luck or skill. I think it's both. Bit of both. But I do not. It is all trial and error, which I think can yield some really cool results, but also, like, I have had some failed builds in the past. Sometimes I will like come back in and look at something that I'm building. I'm like, I don't know what you were thinking. You're gonna have to revisit that one. And sometimes I do, and then other times I am a savage simmer and just bulldoze it. Is this too high for a sim to see over? No, it's not. It has to. It's standard height. Standard height should be fine. I'm kind of curious. I want to know what standard height actually is, because to me these would be like 8-foot ceilings. That's what we have here in Canada as our standard ceiling height. It's like 8-foot ceiling, and then these in my head are like maybe 10, and these are probably somewhere around the like 14-ish foot ceilings. But I think that's a little excessive for where we are. Is this build too wide? Might be a wide build. Maybe I can narrow it down one. No, I like the space. It's fine. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. That is my approach to building. So I kind of like the floor plan up here, and I think I'm going to throw that staircase back because my staircase deleted. Who knows why? Staircases in The Sims. Gotta love them. And then I have questions as well. That's me with most of The Sims stuff. But I will say though, when I logged on, I hadn't realized that that update had happened. But when I logged on, I found all of these. Aren't these so rad? Hang on, I'll close these down. But I think these are so cool. And I'm not sure, I know that we have flooring tiles that look something like this, but we don't have ones that have the little grass pieces in here. I thought that was like super cool. And then this one here, I know we have flooring like this, but I've never seen terrain paint that matches it. And I like having the terrain paint because for budget builds, this is free. They also redid the gravel swatches, and oh, we're gonna have fun with those. I think so. They also did like a major recolor of like all of their. Did you see how laggy that was? Oof, that was bad. But yeah, they did a bunch of recoloring too of all the different. I'm gonna get the grid on. Of a bunch of different swatches and things like that for some existing game items or in-game items. That didn't sound like a good sentence, but anyway. And some of the recolors were great. I think that these updates with the recolors and the added features are kind of nice because like they're free to us and they do keep the game feeling somewhat fresh and current. I think that they're still a little pack heavy as far as keeping things current. But these updates I think are, I'm hoping at least, I say I think, I'm hoping that they'll be a little more frequent and a little more of like a current edge to the builds. I don't know what I'm doing with that. We'll see how that goes. But I kind of like this layout that we have going on. Downstairs I want to be like wide open. I love open concept. I think will work really well for this. It's very current to have open concept, although no, that's a lie. I'm gonna back that up. There's like a big trend right now that's happening where we are that people are going more closed concept, and I think it's from the pandemic. Everyone was like trapped at home, and people were just on top of one another all of the time, which I think like it just tires us out and it makes us value closed space. So I think that's why it's getting a little less like open concept might be losing a little bit of momentum. Maybe I'm totally off on that, but I've just noticed that with friends of mine and fellow homeowners that, you know, there's been an appreciation of closed concept. So who knows? Why is that not lining up? I want a diagonal because architecture, but diagonals in The Sims are so temperamental, and I don't know why. Also, now that we can place everything on half tiles, I want walls on half tiles. Can we please put a wall in between these two gaps? Please. I think it would make so much more sense. Have a lot better control over the like placement of where everything is and where everything lands. And I've decided I don't like that. But we'll see. Maybe it should come out. Yeah, we'll go out first and then curve around. I think that's gonna be the move. So we'll go out like this and then go like this. And I want to make sure that these line up, which I don't think they do. They do not. So do we go one more and then go over? Does that line up? That does line up. All right, cool. We're back in business. And we'll do that, and we'll knock that out. And then for over here, so yeah, so I'm just thinking like, you know, we got the kitchen, the dining, the living, all that jazz, and the bedrooms upstairs. And then this side of the house, since there are architects and interior designer, I want this to be their little office annex. So just a place that they can come in, do their work, have it be their studio space. And that's like separate from the house, because nobody wants to work in the same place that they live. Even if you have a home office, like I'm in a home office right now, and my favorite thing about it is that I can close the door when I'm done, and it's not really near my like bedrooms or anything. And I really like that, and I want to give that to these Sims because they'll probably need the separation. But yeah, you can see the vibe that we're going for. It's like kind of angular, a little out there. I'm gonna throw this roof on, and hopefully we can find a roof line that works. But yeah, diagonal roofs too are also complicated. I think I'm gonna do it this way. So we'll go with, no, I'm gonna bail on that, and we're gonna go this way. That way I don't have to use a million roof pieces. So we're gonna go gable this way. I'm definitely putting a gable on this, and I'm taking away the eaves because I personally am not a big fan of how eaves look on my Sims houses that are supposed to be more Scandinavian influenced. Also, I am not from Scandinavia, so anybody who is from a Scandinavian country and you're like, whoa, this is so not Scandinavian design, I apologize in advance. But I want to take inspiration from kind of this like kind of Scandinavian Barndonium type style. I think that they do a really, really good job of linking in natural materials and simple tones and shades, and really I mean this in a good way, but like basic shapes that are easily digestible and super accessible to people, like a gabled roof. Everybody knows what a gabled roof is, and like this little triangle piece, we're all familiar with that shape. We might not know what the name is, but we know what that shape is. And, you know, if you were to draw a little house, you're going to draw something that's kind of like the box with the gable. And like Scandinavian design takes that and then plays with it and makes it like super material, like very material focused, material driven, and texture and vibes, and with big glass windows that connect to the outside while still being warm and cozy. And I think that that's something that I want to emulate here. So these Let's Build episodes are going to be relatively short, just because I want them to be easily digestible, but that does mean that they're going to be a little bit, like, it might not feel like we're getting a ton done, so I do apologize for that. Let me know. If you want longer videos, I can make longer videos, but this is something that I can't wait to see where this goes. And I might revisit the roof deck, but I think for now it's nice. So yeah, this is kind of our vibe. This is where I think I'm gonna leave it for now. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, let me know in the comments below about what you think, what the directions are, and I'll probably be posting again tomorrow. So thank you very much, everybody. I will speak to you all soon, and thanks for tuning in.